So today we'll be discussing about this glorious woman Mandodari. To be very frank, even I was not knowing about so many things that I'll be sharing today. I thought I was sharing with other devotees here that I'll be clubbing two to three Vedic women together today because I don't know much about Mandodari. I don't think so. I can speak like 45 minutes about Mandodari, but when I started discovering facts about Mandodari, the more and more I realized that 45 minutes is also not enough. The more and more I discovered, I realized that. So we will start with the Panchakanya shloka and then we'll discuss all these following things. So we had discussed this shloka in the last session also. So if you have not watched the last session, you have to watch it because it's about Draupadi. It's very beautiful session. And Ahalya Draupadi Kunti Tara Mandodari Tata Panchakanya Smari Nityam Mahapatakanashanam. So here, anybody read the translation?
Uh, Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hi
One
Krishna.
should daily, one should daily remember the first most chaste women, Ahalya, Draupadi, Kunti, Tara, and Mandodari. Remembering them destroys great sins.
Yes, and like I was also hearing in like few of the lectures that by remembering them regularly, especially daily for women like us, so it will purify us. Just by remembering them, it will purify us, and it will help us follow our Stri Dharma more and more nicely. So yeah, today we'll be discussing one limb of Stri Dharma. We'll see how we can take it further. So we will I can maybe record the shloka separately and send it in the group so that we can hear and maybe we can at least remember these five personalities whenever possible. So so we would have heard about Mother Sita's birth, Mother Draupadi's birth, like the Srimati Radharani's birth, but many of us, at least I had not heard about Mandodari's birth. So this was a very interesting section for me. Basically, we would have heard at least for those who have seen the Narsimha movie. So we would have seen how Kashyapa Muni would be performing some sacrifices, and at that time Diti she approaches him in the wrong time, and at that time to beget son. So at that time Kashyapa Muni warns her that see this is the wrong time. You are approaching me because of this the sons which you beget, they might become like very ghastly, very heinous, but Diti will not hear. And then soon what happens is because of their union there comes two very ghastly sons, that is Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha. And we know what happened with Prahlad, and what happened with a Mother Earth, and then the story unfolds. So Narsimhadev appears and he kills Hiranyakashipu, and in this way we see that how this thing, male and female unite, the timings, the day, and the what do you see the astrological calculations, it matters so much because especially here we saw that when Diti approached Kashyapa Muni, it was the evening time, and hence either during the day or evening time, if the union happens, it is said very clearly in the scriptures that demons take birth. And for us, like we don't have to see like Hiranyakashipu like demons. We are seeing so many demons all around us. Like right now, also so many crises is happening all around the world, and people are throwing bombs at each other, killing people like without any kindness. So we can see that demons were not just existing at that time; they are existing even now. So this was one story, but now the story I'm telling is about the Danavas. So Diti gave birth to the descendants of Diti. They were called as Daityas, and Kashyapa Muni, he had 13 wives, and one of the wife was Danu, and the descendants of Dhanus were Danavas. And one of the Danavas his name was Maya Danava. So the Maya Danava, he was. It is said that he is a great leader of the demons. So we'll read about him from Srimad Bhagavatam. श्रीनारद उवाच निर्जितासुरा देवैर्युधि अनेनोपब्रह्मिते मायिनां परमाचार्यं मयं शरणम् आययुः. Can anybody else read translation? Any one of you can read.
Can I read, Mataji?
Yes, yes.
Narada Muni said, when the demigods were always powerful by the mercy of Lord Krishna, fought with the Asuras were defeated, and therefore they took shelter of Maya Danava, the greatest of the demons.
Yes. So, to give you more history about, more clarity about Maya Danava is the father of Mandodari. And Mandodari's mother is Apsara. Her name is Hema. So, we will learn how such a mystical person this Maya Danava was from our own scripture, that is Srimad Bhagavatam. So, this Maya Danava, so when Asuras and Devatas were fighting, these Asuras, they took shelter of Maya Danava. He was Danava means he was one of the forms of the demons, but he was a very very mystical demon. It was in fact called that he was the architect of demon. But even though he was on the side of demons, he had helped Arjuna also. How? Because in one of the instances, like when Maya Danava was wandering in the forest, he was about to be killed. At that time, Arjuna saved him, and he was very grateful to Arjuna. And then he awarded Arjuna Yudhishthira. Basically, he awarded a Pandava a very very mystical palace, and it had all the facilities, and basically it had everything in the world that was in that palace. And he presented it as a gift, as a matter of gratitude to Arjuna. So in this way we can see he was such a great architect. And this Maya Danava, so when the demons, they took shelter of this Maya Danava, so he prepared three invisible residents. That is, he basically created three residences for them, and he gave it to them. And these residences, they were like the airplanes. They were made of gold, silver, iron, and they had uncommon paraphernalia. They had so many wonderful things for them to enjoy there. And because of these three places, the demons, no, they became invincible. Actually, they were not being seen, and they were taking advantage of this opportunity. So they were because earlier they had fought with asuras, and then the devatas, and then how devatas got the share of the nectar and they could not get their share. So they were very very angry, and they still now they are having that anger. They were remembering that anger. So they wanted to vanquish all the upper three planetary systems, that is Bhurloka and the upper planetary systems, Bhuvar Loka, Satyaloka, Janaloka, Tapoloka, and even the lower lokas, Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Patala, Tala, all these lokas. So when they were destroying, so at that time all these demigods, so they went to Lord Shiva first. So they surrendered unto him, and then they said that please help us, all our kingdom is getting vanquished, please help us. Then Shiva, he just gave them assurance, and he said that I'll take care of this. So he fixed his bow, and then he released them towards the three residences, that is the three planes that were made of gold, silver and iron. So when Shiva's the Shiva threw the bow, it was it was appearing like very fiery, and it just covered all these three airplanes, and then it just disappeared. So what happened is uh, because Shiva's bow hit them, so all these people who were living in these three dwellings, three places, so they lost their lives. All these demons, they lost their lives. So and they fell down basically. But this Mayadanam was so mystical. So when they fell down, he had prepared a nectarian pot. below these three planes. So all of these demons, they fell in that nectarian pots. It is that nectarian pots is also called as Mrita Sanjeeva Itari. So it's a Ayurvedic preparation that he made. And all the stories that I'm discussing, it is from Shrimad Bhagavatam itself, and I've given you the reference. It's from 7th canto. So he made that nectar and he kept it under those planes, and whoever would all the demons who would fall, they would that nectar was such a way that they would come back to life. So all the dead bodies, when they came in touch with nectar, they became very very strong, very very powerful. And then Shiva got to know that, oh my god, all his efforts were in vain. And then finally, like we know that demigods, all they when they cannot solve the matter themselves, they go to our dear Lord Vishnu, and they requested help from Lord Vishnu. So what Lord Vishnu did, he took help of Brahma. I mean, he took Brahma along with him. So Brahma became a calf and Lord Vishnu became a cow, and they entered these residences, and then they drank all the nectar in that well. So I mean, all the demons were able to see it, but because of the magical potency, because of our dear Vishnu's magical potencies, they couldn't, the illusion created by the Lord Vishnu, they couldn't see, they couldn't do anything. But Maya Danava, he was very clearly aware, because he was full of mystical power. He was very clearly aware that this cow and calf are none other than Vishnu and Brahma. So he was just lamenting, oh my god, all my efforts are getting in vain, like that. Then Lord Krishna also, he gave so many things to Shiva. He gave Shiva religion, knowledge, education, austerity, activities. He gave him all the powerful weapons like charioteer, flags, horse, weapons, everything, elephant, bow, shield, arrows, everything he gave. And now, because when we know we have our Lord with us, what to fear? So Lord Shiva, he was like fully, he boldly, he went again in the chariot full of arrows. He threw the arrows, and then he fought with the demons. Now, the by morning he started fighting, and by noon he set fire to all of those three residences, and he destroyed them. And thus Shiva got the name Tripurari. So you would have heard this name. Shiva is also called as Tripurari because he just destroyed these three places of the demons. And Shiva, like all of the other demigods, they worshipped Shiva, worshipped Vishnu, and then they went back. So in this way, we saw how mystical this Maya Danava was. Maya Danava is. He's so powerful. He's so powerful among the Danavas. So the Mandodari, basically, she's daughter of such a Maya Danava and Apsara. And now let me also take a couple of minutes to describe the history of our villain, who is the Ravana. So we all have heard about how Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha took birth, but even I, on like, to be very frank, I was not aware of the Ravana's birth, actually how it happened. It's a very long story, and this story I'm reciting from the Valmiki Ramayana, that is commented by His Holiness Bhakti Vikas Swami Maharaj. So in one of the sections, so it is mentioned in the Valmiki Ramayana that so there was a sage named Pulastya. So this is a very very little intricate story. So if you hear it attentively, you can get all the details, because there are so many names. So if you are not attentive, you can miss the story, and you can be just pondering about who is what. So there was a sage named Pulastya. So this great sage, he wanted to do deep meditation. So what he did, he went to a hermitage of another sage called uh, Trinabindu. So these are two stages. So this Pulasya came to the ashram of Trinabindu. It was in Mount Meru, basically. So when he was doing this Pulasya Muni was doing so many austerities, so many apsaras came there, because they were so much bewildered by the scenic beauty of that mountain Meru. They wanted to just see, enjoy the environment there. But because they were disturbing, so unintentionally, not intentionally, they disturbed this Pulastya Muni's meditation. Because definitely when there are a group of girls, you can imagine there'll be giggles, there'll be laughs, there'll be discussions, there'll be gossips, and so many things. So they unintentionally, they disturbed the meditation of this Pulastya Rishi. So he became so angry. So he cursed that whoever comes nearby me from now onwards, they'll become pregnant. So he cursed like that. And because that is like the worst thing that can happen to a woman, like without a man becoming pregnant. So all the apsaras, they became very aware, and they were knowing that where Pulasya Muni was seeing, and they were not going to that place. But what happened was, this Trinabindu, whose hermitage this Pulasya Muni was meditating, his daughter, she was not aware of this curse. So once, like when she was she roaming around, she unknowingly she went near Pulastya Rishi, and she became like when she came out, when she came back to her home, she saw that she has become pregnant. Now this Trinabindu's when Trinabindu asked her what happened, even she was not aware that what happened. Then because he meditated on what had happened, so Trinabindu, because of his mystic power, he got to know that yogic power, he got to know that this was the curse, and that's why that's how she became pregnant. And he very well knew that it was not the problem of Trinabindu. Now the pregnancy couldn't be reversed, so he went to Pulasya Rishi and he asked her, like, you can please you marry her now. Now that she's pregnant, you have to marry her. Then he accepted her, and she served him with great love and devotion. So this Pulasti Muni, he used to chant Vedas, and she used to listen to Vedas, and that's how when their son came out, the son was named as Vishrava, and this son was full of Vedic knowledge. So that's why we see that whenever a woman is pregnant, so she should hear more Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, all these scriptures. When she hears more, the progeny that comes out, the kid that comes out, that kid also becomes more and more uh, filled with the spirituality, basically filled with Krishna consciousness. And the Pulastya Rishi and this Trinabindu's daughter's son, their name was Vishrava, and the son was glorious. He did lot of austerity. I mean, he gained lot of yogic power. And this Vishrava, he also had a son. And this son, you all are aware, knowing this son. What did this son do? He did a lot of austerities, and Brahma became very pleased, and he told him, what do you want? And this Vishrava's son, he told, I want to become a Lokapala. So who are the three Lokapalas? The three Lokapalas are Yamaraj, Indra, and Varuna. So Brahma, he said that, okay, may you become the fourth Lokapala, that is Kubera. We all are aware about Kubera, about his wealth. So he said that may you become Kubera, and he said, may you become the Lord of Wealth. This is how Vishrava's son, he becomes a Kubera. Now Quera basically it's a post. This Indra, Varuna, all these are the posts. They are not the persons. So Vishrava. So when Quera went to Vishrava, told him about what had happened, how he got the Quera post. Vishrava told that, okay, now that you are a big person, you need a place. So Vishrava gave him Lanka to live. So this Lanka was actually created by a person called uh, what was his name? Vishwakarma. So this Lanka was created by Vishwakarma, and he had built it for Rakshasas. But when the fight between Rakshasas and Devatas happened, so at that time Rakshasas were very scared of Vishnu, and they fled away to the very lower planetary systems, Rasathala. They went there. So this Lanka was empty. So that's why Vishnava gave that planet to that place to Kuvera. Now what happened is. There was another person, a very wicked person. He was called Sumali. So this Sumali had a daughter called Kaikashi. They were in support of the demons basically. So this Kaikashi, so she wanted, Sumali, he wanted his daughter to marry Vishravas. Vishravas, who was Vishravas? He was basically the son of this Pulastya. After hearing the Vedas, the very glorious son had come. No, that person basically. So this Kaikashi wanted to marry Vishnava because Kaikashi, because the Kaikashi's father, he had heard a lot of glories. How he had given the kingdom of Lanka to Kuvera, his son, his other son. So she wanted the Kaikashi also to gain some kingdom and give some portion to the demons. So the Kaikashi, she went to Vishravas again. She went to Vishravas when he was doing some yagna. At that time, she went to him and she approached him and she asked him for the sons. So he told that at that time Mishrava told her that you have approached me in a wrong time, because I'm doing some in an inauspicious time you have approached me, so your sons will become very very ferocious. So Kaikashi became very scared, because she said that I don't want such a inauspicious, I mean such a ghastly sons. Please be merciful unto me. So he gave a concession. So Vishrava gave a concession that all of your like progeny except your youngest son will be will be like demons. Like your youngest son will become a very very pious man. So Kaikashi initially she gave birth to a very ghastly son with 10 heads and 20 arms. We all know who is it. So with huge mouth and with the long teeth. Basically, it is our Ravana. And then after some time she gave birth to Kumbhakarna. And Kumbhakarna at that time he had the largest body on the earth. He was so ghastly. And then there came a daughter. Her name was Churpanaka. She had a very very ugly face. And then the last child was Vibhishana, who was pious, like how he had promised. So these then we know the story how all of these did austerities. All of them actually, all the three of them, Vibhishana, Kumbhakarna, and Ravana, they did great austerities, and especially Ravana, like Brahma was pleased with him, and he asked for a boon. He said that I want, I'm very scared of death, but I want. Immunity. I want immunity from Nagas, Yakshas, Daityas, Danavas, Rakshasas, but I don't want any immunity from humans or animals, because they're like straws for me. They're like grass straws for me. They, yeah, on the street grass, how they are, I can easily trample them like that. They are. So he neglected the human power. That's how we see our dear Lord came in the form of humans, and then we all know the glorious story of how he killed Ravana, and then the death of Ravana happened. So in this way, we saw that like how Ravana's appearance happened, and now how did Ravana meet Mandodari? So this Ravana, when this Maya Danava, he was his wife Apsara Hema had 3 kids. So after that, because of some work in the heavenly planet, she had to leave them. So at that time, this Maya Danava wanted to. He was looking out for a very very good match for his daughter, that is Mandodari. So when they were roaming around in the forest like this, so they met once they met this Ravana. At that time, Ravana, because of his mystical boons, he was appearing very beautiful also. And Ravana, when he was asked, when Maya Danava asked about Ravana, he said, I am a daughter of a great sage. Because he was a daughter, I'm a son of the great sage. He was a son of Vishrava. So Vishrava was a great sage. We saw how he was meditating, how he had, how he was the son of Pulasya Rishi, how he was having a great, he performed great austerities and received great benedictions. So when he got to know that he was in the lineage of rishis, he had also, like Maya Danava, even though he was in the Danava thing, he had given lot of dharmic knowledge to his daughter. Mandodari, so that wherever she goes, she could, because of her pious activity, she could flourish that kingdom. That kingdom could flourish. And when Ravana saw her beauty, he was like extremely attracted by her beauty, and also he got to know that she was so pious, she was so dharmic, that she thought that if I marry her, if she becomes my prime queen, then because of her piety, my kingdom will be saved. So see, in this way, demons think not just like in one way, they think in 100 ways what are the benefits that I can get. So in this way, like Mandodari and Ravana's marriage happened. So even though uh, Mandodari Mandodari married Ravan. Ravan was having lot of bad qualities, but Mandodari was always dharmic, and she was always giving him dharmic instruction. So we see here that very very important quality of a woman, that is chastity, which is the one of the basic limbs of Stri Dharma that we have. So when it comes to varnashrama, so there is like in last session also we had discussed that there is varnas, then there is ashramas, and these varnas and ashramas are for the men, and for the women there is something called as Stri Dharma. And it is said in the scriptures that when a woman follows her duty, Sri Dharma, very nicely. Along with that, when she does her devotion very, very sincerely, her advancement in Krishna consciousness becomes very, very rapid. So that's why even in our Krishna conscious movement, we see like so many elderly Mataji senior devotees, alongside devotion, they also are they are very, very fixed in following their womanly duties, because of which we see that they're advancing very nicely, definitely by their when we meet them, when we approach them, and when we hear from them, so many of them, at least I have experienced, I have met them, that they have a different aura, and they have a very, very high vibe of spirituality. And we can see that they're so pure, and we can also see that they're very, very sincere, and just by their simple words it will touch our heart. Like one such Mataji, when she had come to our center, when we had asked her about one question about how Maya Devi affects us, and how we can be saved from the onslaughts of the Maya Devi, she had explained the shloka, 7.14 shloka, that Daivi Esha Gunamai Mama Maya Duratya Maya Metam Tarantite, wherein it was said that when we take shelter of Krishna, so anytime when we see that yes, now the Maya is devouring us, and when we at that time, at that point of time, when we take shelter of Krishna, knowing that he is the master of Maya, at that time Maya Devi will automatically, because she is the master of Maya Devi is Krishna, he will tell her, don't disturb my devotees, so they will stop disturbing us. So when she explained that, even though so many times in various ways I had heard about the explanation, when she explained that, when Her Grace Anusuya Mataji explained that, it so touched to me that even till now, whenever I go through some things, I'll remember that shloka, and I'll try to pray to Krishna. So this is like we see like even now the devotees have like so much glorious spiritual power because of their Sri Dharma as well as intense devotion. So one such limb of Sri Dharma is this chastity. So according to the Vedic literature, so a woman has to become a chaste wife. So when a woman becomes a chaste wife, and parallelly when she does devotion, automatically she gains immense spiritual power. Again, I am not mentioning this, it's mentioned in the scriptures. So again, it's not any other scriptures, it's mentioned in right in our Bhagavatam. Any scriptures you see, it has various duties that are mentioned for women very clearly. It's just that we modern women, we don't want to take it, follow it, that's why we are struggling. But when we keep all these our modern philosophy of feminism, and self-independence and so many other things aside, and take our Sri Dharma in front, what happens is we can easily avoid this cycle of birth, death, old age, disease. We have like we are we In so many lives, in so many animal life, in so many human form of life, we would have become wives of so many, we would have become wives of pigs, we would have become wives of snakes, like this we would have become wives of so many animals, tiger, lion, so many animals, and now we have passed and we have come to this glorious human life wherein we have also got in touch with Krishna consciousness. So when we keep all our modern women notion aside, and then when we start understanding slowly the Vedic version of the women, and start following them along with intense devotion, we can see very, very wonderful progress can happen, and it can take us closer to Krishna. And if we do it so sincerely, so seriously, that it can even take us back to God at this one lifetime. So that powerful this Sri Dharma, this combination of Sri Dharma and intense devotion is. And what is chastity? It is mentioned that one's body, mind, words should be exclusively dedicated to whom? Actually to Krishna at the end of the day. So that's why even today the shloka which we read, 18.65, it said that manmana bhava madbhakta. So then it is said that we should worship, we should bow down. See how we are using our mind, our body and our words. We should glorify Krishna, we should chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, we should sing about the glories of Krishna, we should share the glories of Krishna to others. So in this way we see, when we dedicate our mind, body and words in exclusively to one person, So that is chastity. So this chastity I'm mentioning about is chastity in devotion, where when we become exclusively devoted to God, so that is we see that throughout the day we'll be thinking about Lord, we'll be serving Lord. It's not that we are stopping our work, we are doing our work, be it our IT job, or be it our like a homely job, or any other work we are doing, and parallelly we are thinking about Krishna, we are worshipping Krishna, we are praying to him, we are glorifying him, we are singing about him, we are learning shlokas for him, like this we see. So here the Vedic women actually, it is said that when we marry a person, so that person will be our husband forever, and for a woman, she has to become a chaste wife. So a chaste wife means, like how I said, one's body, minds, and word should be dedicated to that one person throughout the life. So that is basically the chastity when it comes to the chastity in marriage. And when we become chaste in our marriage, and when we deliver our when we are very dutiful to our husbands and to our kids, so one conception we have to remember is, the family members that we are getting, be our parents, be the spouse that will be getting. So most of you very like soon you will be entering into grahastha ashram. So the husband will be getting, we should always know that, no, remember, write down, and we should always know that he is a person who is gifted to us by Krishna. He is a very dear child of Krishna, and he is gifted to us by Krishna. And Krishna is telling, like, let's say Krishna comes to you and tell, please take care of this person. Like in person, his Krishna is coming. How much importance you'll give to that person? How beautifully you'll take care of that person. Similarly, when in future when we beget kids also, so it's the same thing. So Krishna, because he knows that we are taking up this even in small steps we are taking up this devotion, Krishna is interesting that kids, those kids who are his kids to us, and Krishna is telling, please give them very nice environment so that they become Krishna conscious and they advance very nicely. So in this way we see that in Krishna consciousness, everybody who are around us, they are gifted to Krishna by gifted to us by Krishna. So in this way, when we start taking care of them, when we love them, so it is, even though it's like a duty to us, it doesn't feel like a duty, it feels like a gratitude towards Krishna. Krishna has given them all of the things. Out of all of the things Krishna has given to us, these are also few of the things, that is our parents, our siblings, our like other family members, our spouse, husband, and our kids, and so on. And we will also put our body, mind, and words exclusively to serve them, and with the mind, with keeping in mind Krishna in center, that yes, these are given to me by Krishna, and I have to serve them in a way that they will come closer to Krishna, and I will also go closer to Krishna. So similarly, this is what the chastity that is mentioned when it comes to the chastity in marriage as well as chastity in devotion. So two things we discussed here. So chastity in devotion further leads to saying that Krishna, you are my only protector, you are my only savior. Like how we saw Draupadi, she was such a chaste woman. We saw that even though in the assembly of Vishwa's assembly of Pandavas and Kauravas, she didn't take shelter of anybody. She took shelter of Krishna only, and that should be our end destination. So no matter what happens, we should always like take more and more shelter of Krishna in even in our day-to-day life. The small difficulties that we are going through, the big difficulties that we are going through, whatever happens, at the end of the day we should offer prayer to Krishna, depend on Krishna, know that all these are for, if it is difficulties, we should know that these are for our purification. If it is something happiness, we should know that Krishna is so much pleased with me, and he knows that even in happiness, like I can get purified. So that's how happiness is also being awarded to us. So here we see Mandodari is plays she was such a chaste woman. She, even though Ravana was so he was so much cruel and ghastly, Mandodari, she was very she remained dharmic and she remained chaste. And because of this chastity, even like when the Rama's whole incident happened, when he kidnapped Sita, and when Rama along with all the other Varanasi, they wanted to throw a war at Ravana. Ravana could not see that what was happening, but Mandodari could see, and Mandodari was warning, this is why a chaste wife is called as dharma patni. Why? Because a wife will always uh, inform husband about the dharma. She will remember, he will remind she will remind his husband, her husband, about the dharma. And not just about not just to her husband. When it comes to all of us right now, I mean, like many of us are not married, even to our parents, even to our relatives, our near and dear ones who are very close to us, we know that we have been punarapi jananam punarapi maranam. We have been doing this, going through this cycle, vicious cycle of birth, death, old age, disease. So we have to very very lovingly, very very sweetly, we have to tell them about Krishna. We have to tell them how taking up this Krishna consciousness, slowly it will break this cycle of birth, death, old age and disease. And this is the best dharma advice we can give to all of them. So what did this Mandodari do? She was not a devotee, actually she was a glorious woman. That's why we are discussing about Mandodari today. She's even in the Panchakanya shloka, you can see. So Ravana committed so many misdeeds. He was very cruel. But Mandodari, she always spent her days trying her best to guide her husband, and very lovingly, not very demandingly, like how we all do to our parents or our siblings. Not very demandingly, or not very powerfully, very very lovingly, very very humbly, she was always guiding her husband. So like imagine if somebody's husband is Ravana, like that ghastly demon, how his wife should be, a woman should be. Ravana was womanizer, he was always behind power and women. But even though Mandodari, being the prime queen of Ravana, she knew that he was not dharmic. She was a special wife because she never left Ravana for any reason, be it bad behavior, be it how he had kidnapped Sita. She always uh, she was always loyal to Ravana, but she was not supporting the actions of Ravana. This is where she became so special, that she stood for the dharmic rights, and she always protested for the safety of Sita. She was always telling that give up Sita, Sita will lead to your destruction. She was always giving the right instruction. And even Ravan married her because he knew that she was dharmic and she would give her right instruction. But Ravan was so much devoured in lust, and he was so much devoured in pride, that he could not accept those instructions. So similarly, even our near and dear ones, because of their past samskaras, they are not able to accept the Krishna consciousness. Even we, to that extent, even we are not able to accept Krishna consciousness and Sri Dharma also to that very easily. So at that time, we have to first train ourselves, and then very very lovingly we have to give Krishna to others. And here it is in the scriptures it is said that a wife must be dharmic, that's why she's called as dharma patni. And when husband breaks the dharma, wife must guide him, but not in a forceful way. Forceful way doesn't work, not in the modern age, and not in any age. We have seen with our own family members, and with all others. So very lovingly we should give Krishna to everybody. If wife is connected to the Guru Parampara and she supports the husband not by demanding too much, and she's like satisfied with whatever we have got by the mercy of Krishna, then what husband he can do, he can use that time more in Krishna consciousness. Similarly, we have to our mind is our unchaste, a very very undharmic husband. When we are satisfied, when our mind is satisfied automatically, then we can see that and not engaged in lot of other fights and lot of other hankering for so many things. And when we are satisfied with whatever Krishna is giving us, we see that automatically we can dedicate more and more time to Krishna. So even when Ravana died, Mandodari was, she was very clear that Ravana, he died because only of her because of his not because of his pride and not following the dharma, because he had kidnapped the wife of Rama, that is Sita. We can see another story of chastity that is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam is in the 10th canto, wherein the like these Brahmana patnis basically. So these Brahmana patnis actually, like when these Brahmanas, they were very well, they were very expert in reciting shlokas and doing the yajnas and sacrifices. But they were karma kandis. What is meant by karma kandis? They wanted to do yajna to get something. So it's like a give and take relation. But bhakti is not that. Bhakti is it doesn't deal with materialistic things. It always deals with love and devotion and that innate feeling that Krishna, you are my maintainer, you are my protector, and please take care of me, and like let me love you, let me serve you. So bhakti deals with service. But these brahmanas, they were when they were doing the sacrifices, so many wonderful things were prepared in that sacrifices. And Krishna and Balram, along with their cowherd friends, when they were herding, so like all these cowherd friends, they became hungry. They asked Krishna that please, we are hungry, we give us food. So Krishna sent that, he told that go to these brahmanas, and they are preparing all these yagnic sacrifices. At the end of the yagnas, what is the end goal of yagna? The end goal of yagna is to please Krishna. So even now, if you see any yagna, any yaga, or any sacrifice that happens, at the end we say Krishnarpanamastu, because everybody knows, even up to date today, everybody knows that everything should be offered at the end of the day to Krishna. So when this Gopabalas, they went to the this brahmanas, and they asked for food. They couldn't see that Krishna and Balram are the Lord themselves, and they are asking, like these Gopabalas are asking for to please Krishna and Krishna and Balram. So they refused and they sent back. And when the same Krishna instructed the Gopabalas to go to the Brahmana Patnis. These Brahmana Patnis, they were not very educated. They didn't know Sanskrit mantras. They didn't know philosophy, great philosophy like all of us. We also don't know. But they had heard about Krishna, like how we also have heard about Krishna. And they were very devoted to Krishna. They knew that Krishna and Balram are none other than the lords. So when these Gopabalas came, very sumptuously they fed them. So in this way, we can see that how, like even though these brahmana patnis, they didn't have a devoted husbands, because their husbands were just karmakandis, they were not like devotees. But because they were very sincerely serving Krishna, so they could take darshan, they got direct darshan of Krishna, and they went back to Krishna. And similarly for all of us also, in the same way, we might not have a supportive family, supportive in future, we might I mean, hopefully we should all get a supportive husband. But even if we don't get supportive husband, when we follow our Sri Dharma, and when we follow this devotion very sincerely, then we see Krishna in their hearts. They will surely turn them to devotion sooner or later. And even if they don't turn them, because we are doing our duty and doing our devotion sincerely, we will surely go back to Krishna. And this is again given in scriptures, like how I said, it's given in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So from the life of Mandodari, we could see that she did not leave Ravana no matter what. She was very chaste. She was serving him. She was guiding him, and she was in Vedic system. There is no conception of the separation. So all these divorce and all, it is not there in the Vedic system. So no matter what, we have to stick to that one person. And when we stick to that person, and when we, like how I said, when we follow our duty, knowing that they're the child gifted to us by Krishna, and when we do our devotion very intensely, we see that automatically advancement in Krishna consciousness is guaranteed. And like this is how Mandodari, she laments after Ravana dies. She says that you came under the influence of lusty desires, therefore you could not understand the influence of Mother Sita. Again, this is given in Srimad Bhagavatam, 9th canto, like how I have displayed the shloka, 9th canto, 10th chapter, 27 shloka. She's saying that because of your pride, because you did not follow dharma, that has led to your destruction. So she did not blame Lord Ram at that point of time. She was so chaste, so loyal to her husband, but she knew what is dharma, what is adharma. She knew what is chastity of a woman and what is the dharmic principles. She knew the borderline between that. And also here Prabhupada mentions that whenever we find a description of ideal chaste women, Mother Sita is among them. Mandodari, the wife of Ravana, was also very chaste. Similarly, Draupadi was also one of the five exalted chaste women. A man must follow great. See, here Prabhupada is mentioning a man should follow Brahma, Narada, etc. And the women should follow ideal women like Sita, Mandodari, Draupadi. Prabhupada himself is saying, and by staying chaste and faithful to her husband, a woman enriches herself with supernatural power. And this was what I was mentioning, because Mandodari, she was so chaste, she could see that how Sita and Ram were divine. She could see that Sita and Ram were the lords themselves, and she was giving a lot of warning to Ravana. Similarly, when we also follow Sri Dharma along with devotion, so we get that supernatural power by which we can see what is right, what is wrong, and by following right more and more, soon we'll reach to Krishna. So here Prabhupada is mentioning in the final that Ravana was condemned not only by Lord Ramachandra, but even by his own wife Mandodari. But because she was a chaste woman, she knew the power of another chaste woman, that is Mother Sita Devi. So in this way, so many lessons we can learn from Mandodari. That is how she was always following dharma. That is, she was very loyal to her husband, but she, despite his actions, she stayed loyal to her husband till the very end. But she always wished well for her husband. She was very pious. She attempted the king, to bring Ravana to the right path, and she always advised him to follow the path of dharma. You may say, what is the point? Ravana is not following, so what's the point? The point is not that. The point is, even though Ravana might not have followed or not, Ravana gone, like he might have gone back to hell for whatever he did. But Mandodari, because she was chaste, she was dutiful, and she was following the path of dharma, she achieved the Lord very soon. So in this way, we see for us also, the circumstances around us, it might not be empowering us. It might not be very favorable. But if we do our duty properly, and if we do our devotion properly, then no matter around us, those who are around us, because of the circumstantial things, because even though people around us, they might not be favorable, we will soon advance in bhakti, and we will soon go back to Krishna. And Krishna, Lord himself, is giving this as assurance actually. And we also saw how courageous she was. She was standing for the dharma, and she was always instructing Ravana not to harm Sita, and to give back Sita to Lord Ram. And she was very compassionate actually. She was very compassionate to the people of her kingdom. She was even compassionate to Mother Sita, and whenever Ravana would try to harm Mother Sita, she was always trying to forbid Ravana from doing it, and she was very forgiving. This quality we see in all the chaste ladies. So all the glorious ladies, that forgiving is not for others, it is for us. And by forgiving, we learn that quality of tolerance by which we can advance better in spirituality actually. And patience, we saw we should be very patient with our loved ones actually, how she was very patient with Ravana. So even if they're committing mistakes, we should never give up on our near and dear ones. So she showed that supporting Mandodari showed that supporting somebody means you can love them, and you don't have to support their actions. So this best example was set by Mandodari. If somebody is doing wrong, we can still love them and guide them lovingly, and not support them. And because of her her piousness, Ravana got saved so many times. So similarly, because of our bhakti, we can save our parents, our near and dear ones, our siblings, our husbands, kids. So it is said in the scriptures that when we take up devotion very sincerely, we can deliver up to 21 generations. So you can imagine, this is the best gift we can ever give to our near and dear ones. So this way we see that how her story, it taught us that we can, by remaining chaste and righteous, even when the things around us are not supportive, we can gain a lot of spiritual merit. We can gain a lot of spiritual power, by which we can slowly advance in devotion and go back to Krishna. I'll end with this beautiful shloka. So we can recite this shloka on the coming Ramanavami, wherein Lord Rama is assuring us. This is mentioned in Chaitanya Charitamrita, but this is mainly taken from Yuddha Kanda. Very, very beautiful shloka, my favorite shloka also. Sakrad eva prapanno yas tavasmi iti च याचते abhayam sarvada tasmai dadamyetad vritam mama. If possible, we have to like recite, like learn this shloka. Even I have learned this shloka. What Ramachandra himself is telling in Ramayana, in Yuddha Kanda, is that it is my vow that only one seriously tells that I surrender unto you, that is, seriously surrenders unto me, saying that, my dear Lord, from this day I am yours. Like how Vibhishana did, even though he was from the demoniac kingdom, when he came at that time, like Ram told this like shloka to like his like to all others. He told to Lakshmana and all others that even though they are from demoniac, they are even though Ravan comes and says that I surrender, I will just accept him. So we also have so much of Ravana tendencies in all of us. At least I have. So we can all pray to Lord Rama that from this day I am yours. I surrender unto you. Please take care of me. Please give me courage, especially in the difficult situations that I'm going through. Let me always take shelter of you. And the Lord is saying that Lord will give lot of courage to such a person who says that, and he'll such person will remain safe. Remain safe from what? Remain safe from like uh, like uh, uh, taking birth in the uh, in a ghastly family where we forget devotion, and again punarapi jananam punarapi maranam, that is birth, death, old age, disease, and repeat and repeat and repeat. So we can all offer this beautiful prayer to Lord Ram and say that I am yours, please take care of me. And Lord says that he will take care of us from that point of time. And in this way we see that how glorious like Ramayana is. From last session also we got so many learnings. In this session also we are getting so many learnings. And Ramayana is Ram Navami is coming, so on that day we can all fast till the afternoon, and we can like chant Nama Ramayana. You can Google Nama Ramayana. It's a short form of a Ramayana, which is very, very beautiful. If you want, I can share the link in the group also, and we can offer this prayer to Lord Ram. So I'll stop. If you have any questions or if you have any realizations, you can let me know.